Where the heck? We've got too many videos, guys.
We here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Clickbait Sports. We got a lot to talk about today. Of course, the main story being Dan Snyder. Is he finally on his way out? And it might be in exchange for 2-day shipping because Jeff Bezos apparently got his eyes on the Washington soon-to-be Primes. But before we get to all of that, let me introduce the wonderful co-host we have here. On the tippy top over here, we got the ultimate Yinzer, Mr. Urinating Tree.
All I've got to say, we're going tank bull. Somebody gave us a second-round pick for Chase Claypool. We're going to get Will Anderson, and we're going to wreck everybody in 2023 or go 5-13. I don't know.
You don't need Will Anderson. You have a TJ Watt.
Well, no. Imagine this. Will Anderson with TJ Watt and then, Alex Highsmith and all three of them rushing the quarterback. We don't even have to play secondary. Just have like full blitzes of the quarterback and just go.
Don't even have an offense.
Just play defense.
Kenny Pickett can die by fire. That's all that matters. I mean, either that or we trade down. That's all I'm going to say.
If you die by fire, you come back invincible.
It's true.
Like the Phoenix.
The man whose poops, I'm sure, have not been regular for a week after eating a week of danger witches. One, Brandon Perna.
I have completed the Danger Witch challenge, and I encourage everyone who does not care about their body to do so.
How do you smell?
Like a Subway bathroom.
Yeah, that's the only problem with going to Subway. The smell of the bread just sticks.
Rank the Danger Witch, actually. What do you give the Danger Witch out of 10?
You know what's funny is I hadn't eaten at Subway for probably years, several years. Just because there's a better sandwich shop around here.
Jimmy John's.
And I was thinking I wasn't gonna like it, but I was like, you know what? I think Subway underrated. It's a fine sandwich.
It's not bad.
I kind of enjoyed it. If I'm being
very
honest.
The Danger Witch is good. That's all I'm saying.
Honestly,
this guy was paid by Subway to go to the draft, though, so I don't know how we could take his opinion.
Just try it. Try the Danger Witch.
I'm not trying to derail the show, but what would you guys put at the top of your chain sub sandwich shop? What's at the top? What's the top quality for anything that we could get in our respective cities? Like a franchise sub sandwich shop. Can I speak today? Oh my god!
I used to really like Witch, but they went out of
Which is
business
very
by
good.
it.
Yeah, they went Tango uniform.
I remember,
you guys have Firehouse subs out there?
Yeah,
I've never been. I want to, but I've never been. My question is, do any of you guys have DeBellis? It's a local chain, Pennsylvania, New York, Northeastern. So, but the bread is amazing. The food is really good. I miss it since I moved down here, but it's
I'm gonna put Jimmy John's at the top for me because not only is it good, they make it in 3 seconds. I have no idea how they just make it so quickly. What's up, Song? I see you, buddy.
I think Jimmy John's is gonna divide the chat. If I'm being honest.
Oh, you think it's that?
It's controversial. We've had arguments in group texts about whether Jimmy John's is great or the worst. So
I'm seeing a lot of Jersey Mikes in the chat.
Jersey Mikes is okay. It's okay.
You put on the sauce. The Jersey, get it Mike's way.
I'm just saying. Tom hasn't voted either.
Because I had Quiznos a few times. That's I can't eat a lot from there.
The only vegan sandwich.
Not I can walk in and be like, get me the lettuce wrap with lettuce. Thank you.
With extra lettuce, please.
But I will say, I have gone to Subway as a last case resort, and I'm just throw veggies on it and make it sad. So do that. But Quiznos back in the day was my go-to. But
Quiznos wasn't bad.
Belly vote.
Got shut down. I've never heard of Potbelly, unfortunately.
That guy right there, he finally knew what it was like to lose this past Sunday. About damn time. 5-point Fitz.
Yeah, kind of rough. We were in the game. 2 costly fumbles on the punt team, special teams. Yeah. Richie, I don't even remember his name. I don't even know how he's still on the team. But that I get so mad at special teams because what you can do when the punt is on the way is just let it drop.
Peter.
And your team can have the ball. Even if it's on the 1 yard line, you still have the ball. It's still better than fumbling. Just let the ball drop. It might even bounce your way.
You might turn into a man if the balls drop.
Yes. I'm just saying, like, possession is way more important than 2 to 3 yards on a punt return. So just fair catch it, and let's get the ball. Your defense worked hard to get off the field, and for you to let them down like that is just unacceptable. Anyways, my rant is over.
There you go. And then finally, the man who embodies the Cowboys even when they're getting bodied. One Scooter Magruder.
And we have not been getting bodied recently. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this. Cowboys are 6-2. We got a bye week coming up. We're sitting pretty. Listen, Texans, I believe in you. Okay, you can do it. You can do it today.
No, they can't. Scooter.
Do your job,
No,
Texans.
they cannot.
You can. You have this inside.
No, they cannot.
I believe in you.
Yes, I believe in them too. Ironically. Ironically.
Not unironically.
Not unironically, just ironically.
But Tom, how are you doing today? You introduced all of us. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah, buddy.
I'm alive. It was a long week.
I have a question, Tom. When do you actually sleep? Because
he doesn't.
I've seen stories come out, and 10 minutes later, Tom has a reaction of it.
That's the thing. I've noticed that too.
Edited, and he'll do an entire skit, and I'm just like, how did he do that?
Like,
now the Halloween.
I should do a. Oh, Tom's already done it. Never mind. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I get there quick, but still, it's like 10 minutes after Christian McCaffrey's traded. It's like a live reaction to Christian McCaffrey. I'm like, dude, how do you do it?
So like, I've talked to Perna about this a lot because the thing is, I don't write any scripts. So like,
That's what I
since I talk about every single team every single week, I have a good idea of like what's going on with their fan base and what's going on with their team. So I can just sit there and just improv a whole bunch of lines, and I just sit there, change the jerseys, and then I just go and I edit it and I put it out.
It's the thing I'm most jealous of with Tom's skill set. It's just like the ability to do that quickly and just have it in your brain. Oh.
Right. Yeah.
I also Tom has learned to sleep with his eyes open.
But like you have to like live football, and like I live football from mid-August till mid-February, and then I take a 2-week break.
At the end of the day, we all do, but I have to script the shit out of everything.
Oh yeah.
So that's my situation. Like I am useless with it.
But like even like Johnny Barks, shout out Johnny Barks. Like he's been editing the rankings videos and the predictions videos, and he's like putting the memes and stuff. But those are all improv too. Like I just write my top 10 teams and I just talk about them. So yeah, I just every single one except
that
like
is
the
really
sagas
well
I do.
Done. I've been watching like the past couple of weeks. I'm like, okay. I don't know why the Cowboys are at 5 and the Vikings are above them, but we'll talk about that afterwards.
You know what's like a secret too is by streaming a lot, and I've noticed this over since the last 2 years. Whether you're doing the games or like Tom and I doing GPS 3 days a week, the chat, they know their shit. And like just by doing that, like you learn nuggets from teams just by them like talking about their. You're like, oh, I wouldn't have caught that because it's hard to pay attention to all 32 teams. But like, if I'm streaming a Broncos Jets game and I got Jets fans in there and they're bringing up stuff like I might not know, like that stuff helps too when you're thinking about videos and scripts.
Yeah, or you could be like me and just find out the actual information after you've uploaded the video and people are just yelling at you for misstated facts and mispronunciations. That's usually how I roll. Yeah. That's how I find out. And nothing, like you said, nothing ever gets past the comments. They will find every little wrong thing.
I think the point
even if you check and recheck and double
check,
check,
all of this is Tom. We appreciate your
Yes,
work
we
at
do.
Clickbait.
Mhm.
We
We do.
appreciate you, Tom.
Just a
He's
man
a
in a
machine.
basement.
Just in
who
general.
doesn't see
Oh,
the
by the
sun.
way, since we're slurping on Tom, I want to say that the Halloween costume video was hilarious. By the way, the one of the they're not real teams; they're dressed up as real teams.
Yeah,
that was very funny.
I thoroughly enjoyed
Very
that one.
funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
I had to say, like, doing shorts, like, they really have just allowed me to just be more creative because it's not like locking into like a reaction vid or something like that. Like, so I've actually really am enjoying the shorts. They're a lot of fun.
Okay.
So anyway, enough of that.
Speaking of shorts, I did not mess my own shorts during the dangerwich challenge, and I put together a video
Interesting.
documenting my experience.
Let's go.
And this is slightly longer. than
Let's
the show.
ride.
Day one of eating a dangerwich every day of the week.
Every day. Does it have to be at least 6 inches that he has to ingest? I don't.
6 inches is a lot, guys. Seeing it in front of me, 6 inches is a lot.
Day 2 of eating the dangerwich. Biggest takeaway after day 1, didn't give me diarrhea. Feels like the Broncos might win overseas tomorrow. Or that's just the mustard.
Gonna eat it with a fork and knife after a big win in London. Real classy, just the way the British might do.
I'm still alive, baby. So are the Broncos. More like addiction witch. And it's Halloween. Witch. Wordplay.
Day 6 of the Danger Witch. It's become my post-workout meal. And I feel like it's starting to consume me.
I put some creatine in there too. You know what? Fuck it.
Final day of this Danger Witch challenge. Was it hard? Not really.
I had to eat a sandwich every day. Ooh, good punishment. Just kidding. I didn't throw up.
ASMR, baby.
I like how you
Never
got.
did.
I like how you got progressively handsomer as the days.
The London
went
game,
on.
you went full blown serial killer. Like, I'm living in a cellar.
Yeah, I took out some lines about how evil I looked.
Was
That
it?
was
Did
well
you
done.
get up so early for the London game that you woke your daughter up? Like for once.
Nah,
like,
she's always
like-
up at like 6:30. She
Oh.
wakes us up.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the kind of face I see when I'm trapped in a dungeon for 3 days straight.
Yeah,
And
Just
you pour a
imagine
bucket of
laying
water
out
on me,
to
and
your
it's
screen.
Oh, you
Bad
want some
things are happening.
food, Dungeon Man?
that's me as the dungeon master.
Oops, we both hit it. Oh,
Sounds like
I'm
you have some
supposed to make a
experience
Bart
with that.
Star video. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna
Listen,
have to
you got to
punish
make
me.
the Bart Star video. I still got to dress up like an Eagle and get 2 people to say the Eagles are going
do
to
the
the
Brett Favre
Super
one.
Bowl. Any other outstanding punishments remaining?
I think
gotta do
this
Brett
guy
Favre.
has some punishment.
I had to do the Brett Favre one. Yeah, because I literally shot it like 2 weeks ago, and then it.
What was that one again?
Thomas
I had
to
to
steal welfare
apologize
money.
to like Mississippi for stealing all their
Oh.
money from poor people.
I think it'd be funny if you dressed like a reverse Robin Hood.
What I was gonna do is I was just gonna put on like a Falcons jersey, and I have a Jets Favre jersey, a Packers Favre jersey, and a Vikings Favre jersey, and just do it as each individual team.
Ah,
It's like
gotcha.
former Vikings. Yeah, it's up there. But my mic went out yesterday, so I wasn't happy.
Well, yeah, likely excuse.
All right, let's
Do
get
we have a
into the,
topic? Yes.
content here. All right, so of course the big story, and as the title suggests, Dan Snyder. I know Perna and I talked about this, but it's really interesting to get the rest of your thoughts on this. Dan Snyder apparently exploring all options for transactions of the team after Dan Snyder was steadfast, going, "Oh, nay, I would never sell the team." It seems that things are changing, and also coincidentally, the feds are starting to look into the Washington Commanders about money problems. So let's
Interesting.
kind of just go around the room and then see how we're feeling. Tree, I know you're a big fan of Dan Snyder and all the work
Very
that he
big fan.
does.
Very big fan.
So how you feeling about this, bud?
Well, all I have to say is the culture is actually damn good. And I know I swear, but that's how he says it in the video. Go back and play it. That is timeless and classic and is the perfect microcosm of the Washington, well, Reskins football team, Redskins, Commanders, Commies, whatever you want to call them.
Commanders.
The Commanders. Yes, it's Dan
Commanders.
Snyder is it's a mess. I think he's still on a yacht in Europe somewhere. He's turning into the Wolf on Wall
was at
Street.
the
where he's
game
just
last
hiding.
No, yeah, he went to the indie game. He showed
Oh,
up, and they were
really?
like,
He
I
went
was
to the indie
surprised he wasn't arrested. Like, I guess they snuck him in
Yeah.
somehow.
I mean, I'm
Figure
surprised.
that-
I want to see if he had a conversation with Jim Irsay and if there were punches thrown during it. Because they seem
Hey,
like the kind
Dan
of dudes
Snyder's
who would
yacht.
have like who would be hard partying
What
10
the
years
heck?
ago, and then Dan kind of like, Jim went his separate ways, cleaned up, and now it's like, what the hell are you doing, brother? The
His
yacht,
yacht
tracker.
is called the Lady S.
The
Mhm.
lady.
Cruising
Yes.
marinas and dodging subpoenas.
There you go.
What would be a funny name for Dan Snyder's yacht, though? Like collapsing bleachers or something like that, or failing rails.
The diarrhea.
The diarrhea, sewage water. That'd be funny. Mhm.
5.
Anyways, yes. Oh, what are my thoughts?
Yeah.
I, for one, am quite upset about this.
Aw.
Dan Snyder has never had any improprieties whatsoever. This is a witch hunt, because I think Dan Snyder should be made permanent owner of the Washington Commanders from here until the end of time. I think he is doing a great job with the Commanders. I mean, come on, as a
Not biased at
Giants
all.
fan, if you're an Eagles fan, or if you're a Cowboys fan, like my brother down below here, we all understand that he is doing a fantastic job with the Washington Commanders, and we would like him to stay in power for the remainder, even in death. I think he should just run the team from his grave. That's
Be
what
careful,
I think
he
about
will.
it. Because we could use 2 wins a year, every year.
David Jones's locker. That's where he'll run it
Yes.
from when his yacht sinks.
Those are my thoughts
There you go,
on
Scoots.
Danny.
Just to piggyback off what Five's been saying, initially when all this Dan Snyder news broke, I was like, you know what? It's about time. What the heck? Get this man out of there. But then, come to find out, Jay-Z might be accompanying Bezos buying this. I kind of want Dan Snyder to remain in power. I didn't really consider like they might actually get a good owner. That literally never crossed my mind till I saw the article. Hey, Jay-Z's gonna try and buy the team.
Yep.
I would rather the team remain a Dan Snyder-led fiasco. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys recall, but in a previous episode, we all roundtable predicted how long would it be until Dan Snyder sold the team. I said within 5 years. And it looks like we're actually going to be a little bit sooner than that because of these legal problems that sort of just came out of nowhere. It's always the finances that get you.
Well, the problem is he got
Activation.
greedy and tried to mess with the money. That's what happened.
That's what
Look,
happened.
you can do a lot of things, but as soon as you start messing with the money, you're done. They got you. And honestly, it looks like, just based off of some preliminary hearings, it looks like they got this man. Because why?
What are
else,
the allegations?
Why else would this man hire Bank of America to explore selling the team? Something is afoot, and this is the beginning of the end. I'm still going with less than 5 years.
Do you think if Jay-Z is part of the ownership, he writes a new 99 Problems, but it's just about the franchise?
I think
Took
there's
my
potential for remix. There will be remixes to be had.
Ho,
But this-
ho, H to
this
the
just,
OV.
like, makes
I
it
used to move
bad.
snowflakes by the OZ. Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I'd be the music biz #1 supplier. Flyer than a piece of paper wearing my name. I got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain. Oh! I can keep going, but I'm not, guys.
This
That was
spells
the
problems
widest
for both me
rap.
and Five, though. Like, we don't want the Commanders to go from Dan Snyder to Jay-Z.
Well,
Like-
who said that Jeff Bezos was going to be a good owner?
Yeah, you
Doesn't
don't know
matter.
that. I mean, Steve
No.
Ballmer is like not a very good owner of the
If
Clippers,
Jay-Z's involved,
you
do you realize the amount of football players who are going to want to play for this team just based off that alone?
Dude, Jay-Z had the Brooklyn Nets who
Yeah, I
wanted
was
to
like, do
play
we
in
have the
Brooklyn.
Nets? How are they doing?
Okay, listen.
How are they doing?
Look,
I
they
still
got
get phone calls
Kyrie
from the
Irving
Nets.
and Kevin Durant. Just because they can't put it together.
and James Harden. They had
Like they-
Harden too.
Like
Ben
that's
Simmons.
Ben
you're
Simmons
making my
now.
point.
Mhm.
The players want to play. Now, the fact that they got the players and it's a fiasco and they couldn't find a coach and they gave the players too much power, that's a separate subject. But yeah, look at the Nets. They got high-powered offensive players, high-powered players. And I hope that this does not go through. I hope for whatever reason, Dan Snyder remains in power. I don't know what I was hoping for, but please stay in power, Dan. You're doing a great job.
I am curious, and I want to get your thoughts. So the Broncos sold for what, 4.5, somewhere around there, $1 billion. And then back in August, Washington was valued at over $5.5 billion. So when they actually do get sold, it's going to be for a significant amount of money. How much money do you think they're actually going to bring in? Because they're like a really profitable franchise.
So the latest valuation is 5.6 billion. I don't remember what he bought it for, but it was like 500 million, something like that.
Just a cool 500
there's
million.
no other investment.
He bought for 800 million.
800 million. Okay.
So what is good profit?
What is 5.6?
So that just tells you
6x
So
is
like
20.
about 6 to 7 times.
That's investing.
Yeah.
You just have to get $800 million to buy a football
7
team.
times multiplier. There's no, and he's owned the team for what, 20 years? There's
Over
almost
20,
no
25.
investment on earth that is a 7 times multiplier in a 20-year period on that scale.
And he ran it into the ground.
Right. And all he did was use it, and he didn't win a dang thing. They won what? One playoff game in his tenure. They have the worst stadium in the league, and he's going to walk out of there. He's going to buy so many yachts, he doesn't know what to do. Like, he played the NFL so hard. Like, he finessed the
Here's
NFL.
my thing. Here's what I have to say. Whoever is buying this, whether it turns out to be Bezos, Jay-Z, whoever, I don't think they're going to get their money's worth, right?
Of course not.
So I don't think that the Commanders will go up in value from 5 point whatever it sells for.
It'll
I
double
think-
in 10 years. Easily.
sure.
These franchisers
I'm not
grow
sure.
exponentially. There
I
does
think
not
this
seem
might be
to
one
be
of
a
the
cap.
first cases we see an owner buy in and
Kaylee.
actually end up losing money. This could be it if the Commanders go for an astronomical figure like that.
I just
We'll
don't see it. Even the Clippers, like, they sold for what, 1.2 billion. Their valuation is already higher than that now.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's basketball.
These are the
Basketball's
safest.
global. Basketball is
NFL
global.
NFL
Dude,
is
I
the
was
safest
global.
bet.
NFL's
Safest bet.
global too.
They
I
are.
just was talking to in our Patreon hangout, guy from Germany was talking about he went to the London Broncos game and he was looking to buy tickets to the one in Germany. He's like his line in the queue was like at like 400,000. He's like, there was no way I could even get the tickets. Like,
Wow.
I
And
disagree
but
with that.
the
though.
Aaron
I do not
Rodgers
think the
impersonator
NFL
will
is
be there.
global. Like,
and the
back
more
in
they
the
do
day,
those Europe games and
back in the day, maybe I would have agreed with you. NFL Europa. I don't know if you guys remember that, and we're watching all that
It's
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's
Um,
another Europe league right now.
But it's
What's
like
that?
in comparison to the NBA, there is no comparison. Like, the NBA is so far and above international compared to the NFL.
True, but the NFL will get there eventually. I think.
But they've been trying
that's
to
their
get there
goal.
for the past 20 years, is what I'm saying. Shutting
But-
down
okay.
NFL Europa was not a move if you're trying to expand into Europe.
But if
But they
you're
are still
growing
trying to
in the
expand.
world's largest economy, which is America, like, if you own America, like, you're on top of the mountain. Like, you're just making money.
That's a 500.
Whoa,
Jesus.
Lion fans. Look at that.
Good.
$500.
I'm happy for that. Hey, it's not me.
I think Scooter, get ready to dress up like Dan Snyder.
Yeah, that was a punishment suggested. You have to buy a custom I Heart Dan Snyder jersey of the Washington Commanders.
Heck,
Washington
Listen.
hoodie. Washington hoodie.
isn't it your birthday coming up, Perna, again?
last
Like,
Saturday.
you're
I already had it.
Already
you're
Yeah.
having another
Thank-
birthday this week
in a
again?
year. You just wait. Just wait. He'll be there.
It's a good time to show this.
500. What? Wow.
What? Oh boy.
Why is the front of that
Yeah.
so bulgy?
What
Just-
the hell? Like, I mean, he's got his butt crack show.
I think Scooter should have to get that, but Dak.
Oh,
Dak tap, just like that.
Yes.
wait,
With
was
that
that
large
Scooter again
appendage.
who just got that hundo too?
Yeah. Oh wow, they're piling on the scoots.
Oh no, we have to get money.
Piling on.
What a horrible thing, but actually good for me because I don't. But
Yeah.
Isn't your birthday next week, Tree? Like what?
my birthday's not next week.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
okay.
It's far from next week.
I love it. All right.
Oh, go ahead, Tom. You are the
move
host. You
I was gonna
drive
move
this
us along.
show.
I was gonna move us
Yes.
along. All right, so moving along. Obviously, this past week you had the NFL trade deadline, which was like, no joke, the craziest trade deadline in the NFL has ever seen. You had
Easy.
like a ton of people getting moved. You know, literally could not move from my computer until 4 p.m. Let's kind of go around and see what are some of the biggest shockers. Also, if your team got better or worse. Obviously, for the Giants, Kadarius Toney was the heart and soul of your team, and you lost because
Our
you don't
best
have
player.
him anymore. And so, where do you even begin to go here? But of course, the biggest news coming from one Brandon Perna, and that is the exodus of Bradley Chubb. But now he has first-round picks.
No more.
Yeah, and
Chubs
he
in
just
Denver.
got
Chubb got a
paid.
bag today. Very happy for Chubb getting all that money. I think like the amount of money he just got from the Dolphins is just another reason to show why the Broncos weren't going to be able to bring him back when they've got some edge rushers. But I watched his press conference, and they said like he was done and he came back to just like thank everybody in the Dolphins organization and the Broncos organization. Very classy move by one Bradley Chubb. So, I hope he plays well in Miami.
And he already got his bag. Like he
got
they
more
He's
just
made
than that.
100
extended
mil.
him.
If he plays 5 years, he makes 110 mil. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. The Broncos
If he
weren't going to
stays
pay him
healthy,
that, but
that's a
they
big
could-
So I just want to talk about the staunch difference between Brandon's team talking about a Super Bowl before the season, going from being insufferable Brandon to we're selling.
Hey,
off
we're still
parts
in the Super Bowl race.
in less
We beat the
than
Jaguars.
8 weeks. In less than 8 weeks,
You
we
beat
went
the Jags.
from,
Congratulations.
I'm gonna
In
be
London.
the biggest jerk. Okay.
Can you win in
yes.
this country though?
Yeah.
You don't have there are no high knees that will save you this week,
Well, I
Brandon.
got
The
some-
Jags ever won in London? It seems like that's their second home.
They
park.
won last
get
year against the
destroyed.
Dolphins. They
Oh,
won against
that's
the Dolphins
right.
last
They
year.
did. It was like a big win for them, and it was like really embarrassing. It was like
It was
for the Dolphins.
Matthew
Was
Wright with
Herb
some
the
big field goals.
coach?
Yes,
Yeah,
Urban was the
Meyer, like,
coach.
he won. Yep.
And the fun fact, Doug Peterson tied Urban Meyer for the second most wins in week 3. He is still tied with Urban Meyer for the second most wins with 3.
They should bring him back. Urban is great. I got you.
My QB right there,
He
guys.
has to be trolling, dude. He has to be trolling.
He's not trolling.
He also hit a Broncos country let's ride post game.
Hell yeah. We are riding again.
Just like
We got a bye
Uh,
week, so we can
You
ride.
are
for a
riding the
while.
nuke
So
to your
what
death.
do you think though of the compensation that you got for Chubb, Brandon? What are the vibes?
Oh,
Are you happy?
yeah.
Yes.
Did you
a
get a
first
Chubb?
rounder. We need that. We need that bad because this team's got holes, big holes.
Would you rather
So-
have kept him? Like what are you feeling?
No, we got Randy Gregory, we got Baron Browning, Nick Bonito starting to look pretty good. So edge is okay. Chubb was
But is
playing
it-
well. Like it's not going to help the defense by losing him, but they got guys to replace the production. And if you decide you need depth there, I think George Payton's good at finding value, and they need offensive line help. They could use receiving help at this point. Like, I don't know. The fact that they can take somebody in the first round, they need it because
were
Russ
you
has not
expecting him to be
elevated this
moved?
team, and we now need to save Russ. This is the Save Russ campaign.
Were you expecting this move to happen? Like were all
Yeah.
signs pointing he's gone?
Well,
It's just a
it was
matter
either
of which team.
Yeah, it was either him or Judy or Hamler. If they were going to move Chubb, it sounded like they were only going to take a first for him. I didn't know if they could get that, and then when they did, it was like, okay, that works.
Yeah,
the
you
guy
never
I'm
turn
surprised
down a
didn't get
first.
traded was Albert O, their tight end, who they've had inactive
They just
for a
don't
few
use
weeks.
him.
That's the guy the
Um,
Packers should have grabbed. Like
KJ
Tom and I
Hamler,
talked
too.
about it, and Tom was very logical and smart in his thinking. Albert O is a receiving tight end, and I think he could have fit into that offense right away, and they wouldn't have to give up a lot to to get him. And
Like a
could
mid-round pick.
So they
provide
never
a
moved
spark,
him,
but
is what you're saying.
No.
They ended
But
up not moving him at all.
then again, if he doesn't fit in Hackett's offense, he probably doesn't fit in the way LaFleur and Rodgers are running it. So who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just happy that Chubb didn't go to the Eagles, which I thought they would have pulled the trigger. They got 2 first-round picks, so it's
They have Quinn. There's no point. You have Quinn, you have Brandon, you have Brandon Graham, and you have a few other guys.
Robert Quinn is well, I actually saw that they actually redid Robert Quinn's deal because the way that they had it was looking like he was a 1-year deal for Robert Quinn. But I think they actually did rework it because he had like an $18 million cap hit the next year 2. So very interesting. Very interesting. Again,
you got to spread it out.
Just happy he did not go to a rival.
Scooter, are you happy with the Cowboys' lack of moves?
No, I am not happy with the Cowboys' lack of moves. Yes, I did anticipate that we were going to do anything. I think I was on a Cowboys podcast, and I said, I don't think we're buyers or sellers because we're never buyers or sellers. With that said, we did try and improve the team before the deadline, bringing in Jonathan Hankins. You're seeing the dividends already that's paying for the run defense. When Jonathan Hankins was in, they rushed for like half as many yards. Like the average went from 5 to 2 on rushing plays where Hankins is in. I was happy to see that. I thought we might pick up a cornerback to replace Jordan Lewis, who's out for the year. All in all, though, they said, that they reached out and did some due diligence on Brandon Cooks. But it's like, if you didn't like Amari Cooper at $20 million, you're not going to bring in Brandon Cooks. That would cause ultimate revolt in our franchise because it would have taken a second or first. We just traded Amari Cooper for nothing. Meanwhile, Chase Claypool gets a 2nd-round pick.
And I'm happy for that.
He's still on his rookie deal, though, right?
He's on his rookie deal for another year and a half. But as I said,
that's the huge difference because Cooper, that's the problem with Brandon Cooks because Cooks wants to get traded. Sorry to interrupt. Cooks wants to get traded, but he's going to cost $18 million next year. So
nobody has $18 million. That's why I didn't get traded. A guy he's not even practicing right now.
The only way Brandon Cooks moves is if him leaving practice voids his guaranteed deal and they cut him. And then the Cowboys probably sign him for 1 year, and then he probably makes that $18 million and then some in free agency.
Which, is not outside of the realm of possibility, to be honest. Also, a lot of people were pointing towards OBJ as a potential future signing for the Cowboys. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not really sold on that. I think the Cowboys are doing what I previously hinted at, and that's just we're waiting for some of our guys to get healthy. We're waiting for James Washington to get healthy because Trees told me when this man is healthy, he is an athlete. He is solid, but yards.
He just never really got a chance because of the crowded wide receiver room. And Ben never really liked him.
That's what's happening in Dallas. He just got injured. So we'll see. He's a couple weeks out there.
We'll find more.
I think we're okay. It happens every year. The Cowboys just like our guys. And so we'll see if that works out. If we can stay injury-free, who knows?
Tree, talking about Chase Claypool, I think you are quite pleased with the fact that you were able to get a 2nd-rounder because if I'm not mistaken, you weren't Chase Claypool's #1 fan. You weren't behind that newsletter.
The problem with Chase Claypool, he's a very frustrating talent. Very talented player. The problem is he's terrible on contested catches. That first pick Kenny Pickett had with a 5'9" corner, totally botched it. He couldn't reach for the ball all the way. He runs poor routes. He talks a lot of BS. Remember the whole top 3 wide receiver thing? Losing, never heard of her. I was pretty salty about the Browns playoff loss. Never forget, first down! And that old Vikings game last year.
Clock was running,
And it's just poor situational awareness. He's a very, that's the thing. If he could corral his talents, he could be really good. He had that really strong rookie year. But the problem was he ran himself out of town in a way. Because you have to consider this. Why would a team with a rookie quarterback that needs desperate wide receiving help trade away a wide receiver? You have to ask that. And I understand what Chicago's doing. They want to get weapons for Justin Fields. It's been a couple weeks. He's been showing some improvements, even though he still has flaws in his game. And you can make arguments against him, but at the same time, he doesn't really have anybody to throw to or block for him. So you think, okay, we'll trade a second-round pick, get our guy. I don't think this is the right guy. The problem is he's going to frustrate you eternally just because of his habits and the way he doesn't properly utilize his talent. And that's the frustrating part.
Yeah. Can I did not want him.
Yeah. Can I just weigh in on something like somebody like AB, who's a malcontent and who's trouble and cancerous in the locker room? Like, well, I don't know about that. He could play football. Like, he did everything that you wanted a receiver to do. He ran crisp routes. He went out and got the ball. Like, he would be an addition that you could tolerate. Claypool doesn't have that ability, but has all the negative drawbacks of someone where you're just like, I don't know if I like that. He seems like a guy who's been worshipped since like age 10 because he could play football and has let that get to his head. And now he's a young man that's in the NFL that needs to like humble himself. But he won't though. Like, I don't think he's wired that way. And he's just going to continue this brand of self-overinflated importance without backing it up.
Same question for Brandon. Were you anticipating this happening? What were you thinking you would get in exchange? I just looked it up. He was drafted in the second round, 49th overall.
Yes.
So it's basically
it's roughly the same thing. I think the Bears pick's going to be like a mid-teens or a mid second round.
Do-over is what it is.
In a way. I mean, I'm surprised we got that. I didn't think he'd get more than a third, especially with his poor production this year.
Though? Like,
I didn't think he was going to get a second. I thought like, second's pie in the sky. I thought he was going to get, if he's going to get only a third, I'd say keep him. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth trading him unless you get more value than he's worth in return. Just
was
because
he causing like problems in the locker room where people like, was that why he was moved?
Right back.
Package. Is it Chase Claypool? Is it your wide receiver? I would say there were rumors of him being a malcontent in the locker room, grumblings, but I don't know how true that is.
Could you imagine?
Sorry, his package is probably.
No, I'm just saying, could you imagine if we were doing a television show or something and during the show, the host leaves to go sign for a package?
So it's Green Bay Packers butt plugs. I mean, he has to cover them up for how bad it is.
Packer butt plugs?
But the Steelers did make another move. They brought in the guy they really wanted in the 2016 draft, William Jackson III. So more of a placeholder. They did need secondary help, especially over last week when A.J. Brown completely torched that secondary.
That was fast.
And that was beautiful. Very fast. I mean, those butt plugs going quick. I will say that William Jackson, he didn't work out in Washington. He's more of a man corner, and they had him playing zone. So I think maybe he works out here. If not, whatever.
Yeah. Overall, what is
corner?
What do you give the Steelers for their free agency moves before the deadline?
I'd say I give him a B, honestly, because I was surprised Chase Claypool got moved, but you already have George Pickens. You have Deontay locked up long-term. Calvin Austin is still – I mean, he's out for the year, but he will come back next year. At this point, you realize, okay, you're 2-6. You're not going to make the playoffs. Just sell what you can. And you still have pieces, like you still have Cam Hayward.
And you got Freiermuth. Like, you've got two good receivers and a really good tight end.
Yeah.
And that's like what an offense –
this year right now is just letting Pickett get comfortable, start to develop. That's your goal right now. Because at this point, playoffs are lost. You're probably not getting to 500. You're probably competing for a tank bowl, which is Steelers go tank bowl.
What you don't have is a running back.
No, we have a running back, but he dances all over the place. He thinks, he thinks he's Michael Jackson,
or he celebrates first down 6 yards short.
Najee has some PTSD, and it's understandable.
That move
doesn't have a line to block for him. Remember, I never really liked the pick of Najee Harris because we don't have anyone to block for him.
We have receipts.
Correct.
Yeah, we have.
I have plenty of receipts. I will post those receipts till night and day. But once again, like I wanted. Well, my picks were at the time were Leatherwood, but he was gone. Tevin Jenkins, Landon Dickerson. I feel like you need linemen. And then second round, I wanted Creed Humphrey or Quinn Minor.
Steelers were
nailed
able to
that
move a
pick.
receiver though. Got a good
you
haul
got
for
a second
that.
round pick. I mean, he'll be an immediate impact player.
One
hopefully,
team
but the
that
Steelers
was
have some
not
bad news.
able to move or get a receiver who actually needed a receiver. Tom Grassi, what's going through your mind as the trade deadline approaches? Where were your mentals? Were you thinking something was going to happen? Take us through.
I'm honestly just surprised we didn't trade for Michael Thomas, only for him to go on IR for the rest of the season.
Out.
Like,
Out for the year.
like, it'd be
Or
like, we
Rashad
got to
Bateman.
move, boys. We did it.
Done.
And now
Rashad
it's
Bateman
done.
and Michael Thomas, Green Bay Packers. Oh,
That's
no.
it. We're back.
We'll take both of them.
Yeah. No, so the only reason I had like some optimism was because Aaron Rodgers literally said it on McAfee on Tuesday that like he was expecting, potentially some news to be broken while he was on the show. But I mean, I've ranted about this a lot, and the Packers are not just a wide receiver away. And I think with the amount of cap that is locked up for Aaron Rodgers and some other major contracts, it just doesn't make sense to give away like future capital, because I don't know if this team like is going to be a playoff contending team this year. 1, 2, I don't think like Chase Claypool was one of the big guys that was constantly mentioned, and I did not want Chase Claypool for a litany of reasons.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you traded for Chase Claypool, I would have laughed in your faces.
Yeah,
I would have said, dude, have fun. He is going to frustrate you by week 13.
The fan base right now is just demanding something happens, that they get some player. Doesn't really even matter who the player is at this point, just somebody. And I think like with Judy, that was one I thought there was potential, but as Brandon knows, like he has played well the past couple weeks, but has issues with drops and consistency. So there's that. Brandon Cooks, as we already talked about, it's going to cost $18 million next year. So there's no real established guys that are out there right now that can make that immediate impact that we can go like, oh, well, now we're going to be playoff contenders when the O-line is still a problem, the play calling still a problem, the freaking fracking wide receivers are a problem, but then you also have Joe Barry, who's an issue. You have the secondary in terms of the safety. Like there's so many issues right now with the Packers. Getting a wide receiver who teams are trying to get rid of, I don't know if that's going to make any like giant leaps and fixes. So
then this begs the question, and this is something I really want to get your opinion on, Tom. How many more losses until the Packers start looking towards the draft? Till the Packers shut it down and say, you know what? We tried. Aaron Rodgers, we're sorry, but we need to get a high draft pick now.
You know what's actually really interesting? So that they're never going to tank. But I think what's actually really interesting is that Rodgers talking on McAfee on Tuesday, like kind of, maybe it's just like reading into it too much, which is very possible, but like kind of was hinting like next year would be a year that would be like he wasn't going to leave. So like I think that that's also a possibility, because he's going to get paid a crap ton of money next year. So I think if the Packers lose 3 more games, like they're likely not going to be in the playoff race for in the NFC.
Do you think Rodgers would accept a trade?
Not now. No, I think his legacy of staying with the Packers is way more important to him, to be honest, because like he's worked things out with Goody now. He's been praising Goody, and even during all this firestorm with the fans, he's still praising Goody. He's just like, no, it doesn't make sense to go out there and like get a guy right now for all that draft capital. So
you think he's back next season?
I think like there's potential.
If you had to give it a percentage, what are we saying?
It depends on how this one goes, but again, and this is the biggest if of all time. If they make like a deep postseason run and like it ends in tragedy again, maybe he doesn't. But I think like right now, I think there's like a good like 65% chance he comes back.
And if they don't make the playoffs at all, what's the percentage looking like?
I still think he might come back. Like I actually think it stays around 65.
Interesting.
It's going to, because the only reason why is because the Packers right now are doing what they always do, and nobody should be surprised. It's draft and develop, right? If the guys near the end of the season show that they have developed, if that defense has gotten better, if those receivers have gotten better, then that's going to be room for optimism for Rodgers to come back, because again, he's already going to get like a ton of money next year. Yeah. So then it's going to be up to him and see how he feels, but maybe that's going to give him some cause for optimism.
What's his pay for next year?
Oh God, hold on.
Like whatever this number is.
Have we all talked about our teams though, and what our teams have
done? I haven't. I have
no,
not.
Poor thing.
And I want to say something. The Giants didn't add any actual pieces, but you can add actual pieces.
Got him.
auctionofchampions.com. Let's look at this website right here. It's
I do want to ask,
real quick, it's $59 million.
$59 million.
Well,
you have
a
50
middle of the road team for $59 million.
I think you will.
That is
I would.
absurd.
Hey.
By the way. Anyways, if you have $59 million, you can buy one of these spectacular items here. Look, there's a Julius Erving signed basketball, a Luka Doncic Panini card. Ooh, a Floyd Mayweather signed glove. It probably has money residue on it of some kind. An Acuna Matata jersey right there. Ooh, a Devin Singletary, not Mike Singletary. Oh, a Shaq jersey. Anyways, if you go up and sign up, and when you sign up to bid, if you say that you heard about us from Clickbait Sports, that would really help appreciate things. I want to show you guys this right here.
Ooh, did you get it framed?
Oops. Stop screen. There we go. I have not gotten it framed, but this is the famous Eli Manning picture. I got it at auctionofchampions.com. It's signed by Eli. Look, it's even verified here by Fanatics. Hologram verification. This is sweet. I'm going to get it framed. I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby or something, but there's very clear holding on this play by the Giants, but I don't care. Eli somehow made it out of this and found David Tyree in the middle of the field, and he did that thing where he caught it with his head.
Tom, I'm sorry. 5. Quick question.
Why am I still soloed out here?
Well, you're soloed out because you want to talk about Eli Manning. And quick question. Do you think they have autographed Richie James footballs?
That is not funny.
No, it's funny. It's hilarious.
Block you.
Okay, block me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're gonna drop it like Richie James. Have fun.
I don't know.
We all got a chance to talk about our team and their moves, though. So 5. What about the Giants? Did you expect them to move some people?
No, not
nothing. What happened?
It just goes to show you, like, they're way ahead of schedule. This 6-2 start was unexpected. Like, they probably figured they'd be 3-3 at this point. They're building for the future. They realize that the window really isn't even open, right? So if they make the playoffs, like, good for them. They've got a lot of decisions to make. Like Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. Like, these are hard decisions that they need a lot more data on. They need to see if they're going to finish the year as a playoff team.
What more do you need to see from Saquon, though, at this point?
It's not anything about seeing anything with Saquon. It's about, do you give a running back a second contract? That is one of the biggest cardinal rules. Look, the Panthers did it, and where is Christian McCaffrey now? He's not even wearing blue and white. He is in San Francisco because they had this albatross of a contract that they needed to get rid of. Now, it doesn't help that he's hurt all the time, but anytime you sign a running back to a second-year deal, it's kind of worthless. Now, would it make sense? Yes, especially if the Giants are going to be a playoff team going forward. But I don't see, it depends on what Barkley wants. Yeah, could we get him on a 3-year deal? It might be friendly. Can we franchise Jones and try to punt this down the road? I don't think so. I think Saquon wants to get paid.
Similar to Ezekiel Elliott, would you make that decision? Would you pull that trigger? Same contract Zeke got. Are you doing it?
I would, because my emotions are involved, but I don't think Joe Shane has that level of thought. He built the Buffalo Bills the way they are to be a contender and be a sustained contender. I think he wants to do that in New York or in New Jersey, actually. He's already done it in New York. I just don't see them re-upping with Saquon because that's the first cardinal rule. And unless he goes off and the only way I see them really doing that is if they make a deep playoff run and they figure, hey, you know what, we're only 1 or 2 pieces away. And I don't see that happening.
I don't think they are.
They got beat by Seattle and Geno Smith, which, Geno's playing like an MVP, but it's still, they weren't in that game because of their
run
mistake.
And like they were done. Like that's the thing.
Yeah. The thing is, like, when you have holes in your special teams, that means you have holes everywhere. And this team just has holes up and down, and then they need to address all of those before they.
Were there
really
any
can
moves
make
that
a
you
run.
were thinking that they could have made, but they just didn't?
I thought they would add a tight end because Bellinger got hurt. I thought that they would get like a discount tight end just to be serviceable, but they didn't even do that. So maybe they feel confident with who they have out there. But Bellinger getting hurt really kind of just, it probably changed their thinking. This to think, well, maybe we're not a playoff team and maybe we don't need to give up assets. The thing is, they're still stockpiling picks as well. So they want to build this team from the ground up. They want to do a Packers, draft and develop, draft into double D's, baby, draft and develop. And we'll see that.
So we've all got a chance to talk about all of our teams. Who do we think did the best overall with this trade deadline?
None of us.
A lot of people made a lot of
49ers and
moves.
the
Which
Dolphins.
I would
teams
say-
got
which
really
team?
better? Which teams got way better?
I would say Minnesota by a country mile.
Minnesota helped
Getting
a
TJ
lot.
Hawkinson, especially with the Irv Smith injury,
For a
I think they
song?
upgraded a tight
Yeah.
end. Even though TJ Hawkinson hasn't been a big player in Detroit's system for whatever reason, you're getting a Pro Bowl caliber tight
It's a
end
really nice
who
game,
has
though.
1 year of a guaranteed deal left. You got him for pretty much nothing. You moved up 40 slots in the draft and then maybe another 15 in a pick swap. Like, I
Collusion.
don't know. It's not collusion, but I mean,
Collusion.
I don't get why Detroit made that move, even though I guess they didn't
Again.
want to pay the $10 million he's owed in that 5th-year option next
Again.
year. But
Collusion.
It's almost
it's
like
not collusion. It's only
It happened-
collusion if it happens with your
It's
Packers,
Detroit.
buddy.
No,
It's
it happened
Detroit.
twice now. It happened in the draft in which they gave up a top 15 pick to the Lions so that they went and got Jamison Williams for basically nothing. And then it
Uh-huh.
happened again with this.
And
It's
how much has
collusion.
Jamison Williams played though? How much has he played?
Just playing games with my heart.
So we're saying the Vikings.
Okay, NSYNC.
The Vikings are up there. What other teams? Because I'm looking at what the Dolphins are doing.
The
And I'm
Eagles
saying-
got really good. Sorry, I
got
didn't mean to
strong.
interrupt. Eagles got really
Vikings
good.
fans, will Kirk Cousins even throw to TJ Hawkinson? That's a question people should be asking because, like, the last 5 years in Minnesota, I feel like they just ignore the tight end.
No,
The last
they've been
tight
throwing
end I
Irv Smith
remember
a bit.
catching a touchdown for the Vikings is literally Kyle Rudolph.
Irv Smith caught a touchdown in Miami. So
Jim Kleinsasser, is that the last Vikings?
Type 1 in the
tight end?
chat
Jim
if
Kleinsasser.
Hawkinson's going to score a touchdown
Come on,
this
he was a
season.
fullback.
Type
Respect
2
him.
Oh,
if
okay.
there's no chance, and type 3 if you're just here so you won't get fined. But we're putting the Vikings up there. I got the Dolphins up there. They're one of the winners of this trade deadline, in my opinion. In fact, overall, like all the moves this team has made, it's just so interesting though because the Dolphins have all these draft picks, and they're not using the draft picks to draft people. They're using the draft picks to go and get elite players. I don't know in the long run if that's going to work out because all these players will start to add up over time. The goal would be to get really good rookies and utilize their rookie contracts. So it's interesting to see
That's
what
what they're
Miami
doing.
is doing, sort of like saying, you know what? We have a window. We're going to go for it. We got the money. Let's see what we can
It's
do.
called
And you know who to
draft
thank-
capital.
And you know who to thank for that? Bill O'Brien. Because if he didn't get stupid
And a
and
ball.
accept Laramie Tunsil,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't get Tyreek Hill, you don't get Jalen Waddle, and you don't get Bradley Chubb. Even though I criticized the move at the time because I thought, oh, franchise caliber tackles don't grow on trees. Miami has played this year perfectly.
Well,
Oh,
again, like
the Trey Lance trade too with the
Yeah,
49ers.
Exactly.
Lance.
Well, I was parlayed in that deal, I think, because that
Yeah,
de-
that
that,
helped
that number
set that
3 was because of the Houston trade.
But
All
I
right,
mean, for the Dolphins, though, I mean, like the way that they have done it, they can do all this stuff and sign and give these deals because one, they had a ton of cap, and two is on his rookie deal, so they don't have a franchise QB to
Mhm.
pay. So
Yeah.
they're just like, hey, we could throw all this money at these guys because like that usually, right, is the formula that has been tried and true. And then like the Buccaneers came along and the Rams came along, and the Rams still were trying to give up their first round picks and trying to
the
get
Rams
Brian
don't even
Burns.
care. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean,
What
this
do
is
we
the year
think
Miami
of-
has to do it, but still.
What do we think of what the Ravens did? You know, they go out and they add a Roquan. They add the linebacker.
good deal.
Well, yeah,
I
I don't
like
know
that
how
deal.
much one guy makes a difference though. Their defense cannot.
Their
hold
defense
on.
is injured, but I mean,
Yeah.
Patrick Queen apparently has been derailed in
They're
Baltimore.
also having two guys come back, aren't they?
I know David Ayabo is coming back, and I forget who else is coming back, but I think they have two guys coming back. Tyrus Bowser, yes. So you have Bowser and Roquan Smith in the middle, David Ayabo and Calais Campbell, and Justin Houston. I think he's still there too. So you have pieces. The question is, can it all mesh?
Yeah. We did it. Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
We got another barn burner. You got the Eagles going against the Texans. They might have to get to be back for this one.
Let's go Texans. Come on.
Honestly, I think we're missing the real MVP of the situation. Dameon Pierce is going to run for about 100 yards and lead the Texans to a 7-35 loss. Let's go.
You had me going there, Tree. You
had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Parna?
Hey, that's what I do, baby.
Oh yeah, I think Philly's gonna win. I think we'll see a little bit more of Quinn involved this week. And since Jalen Hurts threw 4 touchdowns last week, it feels like the Eagles are gonna rush for like 4 or 5 touchdowns in this game.
Of course, this is the way. 5.
I think it's gonna be a really close game. It's gonna be 7-2 to nothing. Eagles
scoregami,
and it will be a scoregami. It will be the largest deficit ever for a Thursday. No, I don't know. It'll be an ugly game, but I think eventually the Eagles will wrestle down the Texans, and it'll be like 35 to maybe 1 score, 35-7, like a handy ass whooping.
I think what's more interesting, how many fans are actually going to show up to this game, because the Astros are playing in the World Series tonight too.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Because last week's game, it was pretty barren.
That's
pretty barren.
And we're going to put up with insufferable Philly fans when Philly tonight wins in the World Series and takes a 3-2 lead, and the Eagles are 8-0. It's like a nightmare that I cannot escape.
Okay, here's the thing, though.
Before I try living in the state,
I don't really care about Philly. I just care about the Eagles, right? I don't like Eagles fan. I don't care if the Phillies win the World Series. I don't care if the 76ers win the NBA championship.
Because you don't have a rivalry with them.
My beef is only with Philadelphia Eagles fans. With that being said, today is a trap game, ladies and gentlemen. It is a trap game. It has all the makings of a trap game. You think you're going to go in, you're going to blow out, you're the heavy favorite. Okay. Listen, I do think the Eagles will win this game. I'm just saying it's a trap game. Look at what's happened on Thursday night football games across the whole season. Okay, it's not like they've been regular games, like Sunday night football games. No, they've all been a little bit interesting. So we'll see how it plays out.
Scooter, I believe you've been watching on Thursday night football for you to say that all these games have been interesting. Buddy, I've streamed every one. I promise you they are not all interesting.
Last week's was okay, right?
The only thing interesting is watching Al Michaels slowly drive himself to the drink watching.
Buddy, I have no idea what games you have. I don't know if you're watching a different league on Thursday night.
What I mean is interesting in comparison to regular Sunday night football games.
You can't tell me you can't watch Chicago and Washington and Indianapolis and Denver say it's more compelling than Sunday night football. Brother, where's your mind at?
Oh my God.
Interesting in so much as it is arousing curiosity. Which is the
curiosity.
definition.
Yeah. You know what else is a curiosity?
I'm very curious about this.
You know what else is a curiosity? Chinese food. I don't go out and pay $10 a month to Amazon Prime to watch that crap.
To watch Chinese food?
Watch Chinese food?
Yes.
What?
I don't know.
All right, can we do the countdown? I think we know who won. I
don't like to watch my Chinese food. I only eat it.
I like watching it change season.
This is why I'm bad at improv, kids, and that's why I script everything out to a fine-tooth comb.
I like how Brandon was going to ask me about baseball.
2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 4. I don't
Next
know
week.
what kind of joke that tree was going for. No, I still don't get it. Does he just like not want to watch food? Or is it like
I don't know.
No.
I like watching
The food goes in my belly, Tom.
I don't know.
It goes in my
I'd
belly.
say Chinese
and
food was
hours.
better than that Broncos Colts game.
It
I'd
is.
rather
I mean,
watch
Chinese food easily is. I mean,
get
at the same
eaten by
time, at least.
bacteria.
And also, I mean, it has the same sort of empty satisfaction.
So what'd you guys get, though?
I got
You got
$49.98.
$128.62.
Whoa!
156.44. So you know what? I lose.
Ooh, 234. 234.
Scooter.
That's
Scooter.
Anyone want to do any last
Appreciate you,
minute
buddy.
donation?
No stalling.
Like,
That has to happen before the
Tree,
countdown.
isn't it your birthdays? I got
Buddy,
It's
read
not
all
my
those things
birthday,
already.
dude.
How much?
We read it already. How
I
much
got
did you get, Scoot?
$629.90.
600.
There you go.
$600.
Look at you.
That's
that
Dan
deserves
Snyder
the praise from Jesus.
tangential.
Why do you have?
This was my grandma.
What?
This was actually my grandma's. I keep it to remember.
It's just
You
chilling
really
right
need to
next to
Tree. You have to do like a 56 for the crucifix.
No, I was thinking that. I was like 50 for the Jeebus. So you have the kitty, I have the Jeebus.
Listen, please be gentle. That's all I'm gonna say. Just be
Oh,
gentle.
Tenor for the
Chat.
tenor.
gentle.
We're
Jeebus
friends,
is very
right?
gentle.
Gentle, like
I think that you should have to dress like Dan Snyder in a hoodie and then give like a speech in front of porta potties.
No, he has to order a customized Washington Commanders jersey that says, I love Dan Snyder.
Is that fair? That's the
That is a waste
second
of money.
time we've made him buy Commander.
that is a waste of money.
Does he have a jersey, though, that says, I love Dan? I mean,
No, he
I
has
just
that
want-
huge wildflower jersey that goes
Yeah.
down to his knees.
I want the Dan Snyder. Like, I want Dan Snyder to be looking at that and be like, "Oh my God, someone does love me." Can you buy that with like a like? I'm sure there has to be out there like a signed Dan Snyder piece of memorabilia.
Yeah,
There's
and you gotta
zero
tweet it.
sign-
My
Maybe
favorite
auctions
NFL
of
Oh, dude, Dan
champions.
Snyder has done autographs before.
Does he, you have a
Signed
signed
Snyder jersey?
It's
Or-
a Daniel
or
Snyder
find a
autograph
s-
to Major League Baseball.
a signed Dan Snyder
hockey.
program where he signs his remember that puff piece that he had written about himself in the Washington Commanders program? If you could find a signed one of those.
Yep. Dan
And-
Snyder sent an autographed photo of himself to a fan imploring himself to keep Kirk Cousins. I mean, does he have that still available?
Are
Can we go to
talking
Auction
Dan
of Champions
Snyder?
to check if they have anything signed from Dan Snyder?
Sure.
No,
I
it
mean,
has. You gotta pay for it.
There
I
are
think the jersey that says "I love Snyder" is pretty egregious,
Yeah.
and I like it.
I mean, you have to be careful though because there was a hockey player named Dan Snyder in the late '90s.
Yeah,
during
yeah.
the
It has to say
2000s.
Dan Snyder. I love Dan Snyder.
Scooter has to post a video defending Dan Snyder.
Ooh, that's like logically defending, like unironically.
I will do that. I want this man to stay.
see? I don't know, guys. Come on, come
Chat.
on
I
with
think the
something.
jersey's fine.
Oh, what about the mayonnaise thing? What was
Oh,
that
here's
that you
one.
saw?
Scooter
mayonnaise?
has to shoot a video using his blue screen here where he's in a courtroom testifying as a beneficial witness to Dan Snyder's case.
Ooh.
So he's got to be a witness in support to Dan Snyder. And it has to look like a courtroom. I don't know. Just
I mean-
spitballing here, guys.
I'll do that, but that's
You gotta do it
That's-
in the Dan Snyder jersey.
It's gotta hurt. It's called a punishment. It's called a punishment.
I don't know about
iCarly,
you
Dan
guys, but
Snyder.
defending a man who has sexually harassed and allegedly sexually assaulted women feels like a punishment. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, that's true. You got to dress up as a lawyer. You got to wear a suit and tie.
It'd be like one of those like man on the street segments where he like goes around and he's like, okay, name this owner. And he just says all nice things about Dan Snyder. And then it's like, nope, sorry, that's wrong. It's Dan Snyder.
Yeah, he did. He has done charitable things.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, Scooter might lose sponsorships. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Come on.
So are we doing
Yeah,
the
the
jersey?
jersey's fine.
Albert Hainsworth.
The
Yeah,
jersey.
The
Okay.
jersey. Okay.
I love Dan Snyder. Commanders
.com.
jersey, custom Commanders.
You should
jersey.
have to buy the domain jersey. I love domain.
I love Dan Snyder.
I love dansnyder.com.
Scooter into this jersey going.
Yes. You
There
have
we
to
go.
get the I Love Dan Snyder website in the Dan
Yeah.
Snyder jersey, and it's
Yes.
just a picture
There
of
it
you
is.
in the
Yes.
Dan Snyder jersey,
Yep,
front and back.
that's all it is.
Oh, nailed it.
That's it. Boom. I love dansnyder.com.
Y'all are gonna make
And
me.
you can take it down once you're done. And
No, it's got to live up there for a year.
a year.
a year.
Yeah, but then
Or
it
the end of
expires
football
after a year.
season.
Pay for
Or
it for a
until
year.
Dan Snyder
Yeah, that's
sells.
true. Yeah. All right. There. That's it. Now we found the lair. All right.
Okay.
You have to do a front and back. You
I
have to
agree to
be like
terms.
one picture.
Not only do I agree to terms, but I have also just purchased ilovedansnyder.com. Just
Yes.
Nice.
All right. Well,
$12.
Magruder. Can you get it for Dot Magruder?
All
Anyway,
right.
all right. Can we end this show?
Yeah, what do you got coming out, Tree?
Well, I got a couple things. I got sports ball on Wednesday, NFL trade deadline recap today. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to do Carolina-Atlanta greatest game, and I'm hoping to do MLB debriefing. So I'm riding myself to the wall, and I'll rest when I'm dead.
Amen. Perna.
I did a Zach Wilson bust video today. It is up.
Ooh, kinky.
There you go. 5.
I have already uploaded. I critiquing the future NFL stadiums, the Tennessee one, the Buffalo one, Chicago, and Washington, ironically enough. So, and it's doing very well. It's a 2 out of 10.
Skits.
Ooh.
Uh,
Sorry, 5
if
years.
you're going to be at the USC Cal game, I'll be there doing a sponsorship with Wells
Nice.
Fargo. As far as video is concerned, just put out the college reaction video for week 9. We got a skit that is being made for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to start doing more skit-based stuff. That's on the way. But yeah, also starting a new Madden series next week. Be on the lookout for all of those.
There we go. I'm trying to get a video out today. We'll see. And then streaming at 8 o'clock.
I'm surprised you didn't film and make a video and edit it during the show.
I'm surprised by that, too.
I had done some
you're
editing during the show.
slipping, Tom. You're
I know.
slipping.
I had to do all like I had to like.
Then you
rate
had to
the
sign
music
for a
video.
package.
I had to sign for a package too. Yeah, so I'll stream tonight, maybe reaction after that, and then GPS tomorrow, roast and Q&A. Let's do it.
Nice. Let's go.
If you go to ilovedansnyder.com, it redirects to my YouTube now.
Mm-hmm.
Be on the lookout.
There we go, folks. Thanks so much for watching. We're Clickbait.
Peace out.
We
You've
beat
been
it.
clickbaited.
You've been.
Got